Let me make sure somebody can unmute themselves. Sorry. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ndi Igbo.
Eze bi n'eluigwe ọgọrọ ya na-akpụ n'ala. Chukwu okike ya akpọgo. Eze bi n'eluigwe ụmụ gị agbakọ nata. Nna m anyị na-eme ibe isi anyị na-eme ya ka anyị nọ na-eme. Onweghị ibe ọzọ anyị bụ n'obi ahụ njem nwere onwe. Ya ka anyị na-eji ijie. A wee na-asị gị ezi Chineke biko bịa ka ị nọnyere anyị. Chọọla anyị ka a lawa ajọ mmụọ ajọ mmadụ ọkachasị ndị sabo. Ndị si na Biafra ya abịa ndị na-anụ ọgụ niile ebe a na-anụ ka ha wee fụdat na Biafra ya abịa si Chukwu biko ọgụ ahụgụ nwa ya nụrụ anyị ya gọzie anyị Chineke gọzie ụmụ ife gọzie ụmụ Biafra niile ebe ọnwụ na anyị niile anọ ezi Chineke ma ana m akpọkwa gị n'isi awalida maazị Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike nọnyere m ihe gbaala m ya ume were dọkịta na-agwọ ya ọya Chineke biko ọkwago ka anyị mụọ onye ọzọ otu aka aka na-akpọkwa n'isi ọbata obie udu akọ mmiri na mbiko ihe niile ugoko ọdịnaka anyị eme nke iji nwụrụ mmadụ ma agụ nwa ya eme nke iji wu Chukwu na m ana m asị aka ọnwụna ụda ọnwụna ezumezi ọnwụna osi n'elu osi na ọwụ ikpe ọwụ ibe ọwụ onye ọzọkwa anya wụrụ ndị ji ọbata obi eji awalida maazị Nnamdi Kanu asị m aka ha gbajie asị m tinyere ha ọgbaghara ebe ọbụla ba nọ na tinyere ha ọgbaghara ọgbaghara tinye n'etiti ya Chineke pịaba m ụtarị ka ọkụgbuo ha na-arụ mee ka ezumezu ha niile ha saa kpọpụtara ya awalida maazị Nnamdi Kanu n'ọbata obi ya na m otu a ka si welekwa awa COS wee tinye gị n'aka nna m ọkwago nwa ike yoo onye mekwa nke o ji wụrụ mmadụ n'ọkwago Chukwu na-eme nwa onye na-enye ike ajọ mmụọ ajọ mmadụ uke mmụọ uke mmadụ ebe ọsọkwa anya si onye ọsọkwa anya wụrụ ọsọkwa wụrụ m nwa na-eche echiche ọjọọ megide ihe asụ Chineke megide onye ọbụla na-emegide COS ayo ise ọwụrụ m nwa na-emegide ya emegide m ise onye ọsọkwa ya wụrụ ebe ọsọkwa na-agba ije ọ na-agba ya n'elu ọ na-agba ya n'ala ọ na-agba ya n'okpuru ala ọ na-agba ya n'elu bedi asụ Chukwu asụ megide ekwene kaba binye ekwene kaba nna m binye ọbịa onye ọsọ enekwena anya n'ihu emekọ na-ebele alịlị aka weluo mgbe niile ebighị
I'm sorry. I'm not get it. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Thank you so much. Maybe you go, yeah, go I like it. All right, thank you so much. Welcome, dear friends. Thank you so much for that wonderful prayer. We thank God for this opportunity to thank our own Obatobie, His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. Anun Kankan.
base kind of n'elu na mbụ na mbugodi ihe nchọrọ ime ka Ngozi Ọrapeze mata ya bụ eziokwu ọgbata obi atụkwara nga terrorism 6 years terrorism. Ị nwere idea ada? Ọgbata obi Simon Ekpa Finland tụrụ ya nga 6 years for terrorism. Ị nwere idea?
Okay, for the thing apụtago.
Mba ihe na-ekwu ihe dị na news ka nna eme analyze.
Okay.
Because enwere ihe some people enwe ha idea. Ha just na-agba Finland tụrụ ya nga 6 years for terrorism. Ngozi Ọrapeze bụ chief of staff of Simon Ekpa bụ the chief of terrorism. So Ngozi Ọrapeze nwere question to answer because ọma ihe mere ọgbata obi eji were mee terrorism. O so were support ọgbata obi na terrorism o mere. So ọ bụrụ ọmụnwa bụ lawyer, Ngozi Ọrapeze nwere question to answer.
Yes.
Because mgbe niile ahụ Simon Ekpa dey terrorize ebe niile ahụ ọ dị eme terrorism ahụ Ngozi
Ọrapeze so ya
kee ihe o mere
and onye nwa Ngozi Ọrapeze na-negotiate ihe that place maka chief of staff.
Nyanwa chief of staff to Simon Ekpa who the terrorist atụrụ nga 6 years. Then Okechukwu Nkere alias Isaiah Anyaogu who the finance minister na-eweta ego Simon Ekpa ji terrorize ndị ọ na-terrorize. So which means I been a terrorism case. One person and her carry terrorism here like that. One person name no begin to change no begin with the one street but showing the mother. I had to go away but the plan terrorist city to a court. What is evidence from everywhere? The chief of staff will do something on I am.
Yes.
So the court possibly may invite.
Sure.
I'm going to invite a phone number. I got for communication. Young one over to be the plan. I saw the terrorists over to be them. More results also not over to be only make terrorists. Okay, can we actually Simon Ejiheko? Okay, can we take a terrorist? So before I just send the ego terrorism, Simon is a terrorist now. Oh, when Catania Simon before I send the Simon ego the terrorist. And when both of also not Simon plan we get that. So Hannah me going Hannah no if that is what goes around comes around.
Sure.
Simon Ekpa, I can make this one by one. They have questions to answer. Because that is how it works. When we put on office now, and when the case is something they do, I got you know, I got you know when I I'm going to Chinese pass release, but I got you know when I gave him about this particular thing, gave him about a phone, got to your phone. But communication even with that person must say when other people on our plan because so we is on that terrorism had to be Simon Ekpa. So we are here watching them. In the multi years on the people Basara Ngozi Ọrapeze also be literate or be educated according to the information they here in a public data. On a Twitter handle, and not very my educate.
Hello?
Ndi Igbo na Ndi Egede.
Nna ọkpa na-ama njijiji na.
Ọjụ ga na awari.
Ọkpa na-ama njijiji na na. Ọnwụ na Biafra sọkọmbụ na nke a. Ọnwụ na Biafra mekịta sọkọmbụ, unu sọkọmbụ. Achinyele m na aka.
Ndị Igbo na Ndi Egede. Adagenti. Ka imagine gị ihe agwa dị early this morning ka onye sịrị ka njụrụ gị ihe a. Gị mba na ịtọrọsụrụ ọdịnanwa na ịtọrọsụrụ ọdịnanwa nsị gị na ihe ji ekwukwe maka onye abụ na anya na-afụ anya amaghị onye ọ bụ ịghọtara. Anya amaghị onye ọ bụ and my spirit na-agwa m ọdịna nwa ọ na-eklem onye abụ DSS agent ka onye abụghị onye Igbo. Ọdịna nwa abụghị onye Igbo. Onye na-ekekwe m tikere ya detuo o because onwe ike ime a full statement. Ọgwụ onye nọ n'ala Igbo na-eklem ọ nọ n'ala Igbo. Onwe ike ime a full statement wute asụsụ Igbo. Ị na-agọta ị na-watch program ya na-ege ntị. So mana all these things ọbaghị uru. Ebe point m nwere ịjụ ya bụ ha na-ekwu this is their charter, the charter 27 charter. Charter ha na-agụ for primary. Abụghị m a lawyer because ihe ọ na-akọ kịta. Number one, o nwere red flag it could face. Number one red flag o nwegodi ewu na gọọmenti nyere ọda. Ọ bụghị na fake gọọmenti original gọọmenti na-agaghị enwe fundraising. Ọ bụrụ na ya na-enwe nọ n'itra, ọ na-eklem na ọ nọ n'itra. O kwesịghị broadcast that fundraising that day. Nke a number one mistake o megodiri first. Then number two mistake o mere keta ọ na-eme this exposition. O wepụtara meseji COAC sendirie 2 messages. Nke ọ kpọrọ ya nke ọ sị na esendizie nonsense ya na nke o sendirie call me COS 2 messages o sendirie. Mana ya na nwe wepụtara former finance minister Nwoke Nkede. O wepụtara message from Nkede. Nke ahụ number 2 fault o nwegodiri. The number 3 fault o nwere as a media team, as a media ọ bụ o claim na ọ bụ media. Ọrụ ya bụ ịnọ n'itra. Ọkpọ Oge Nkede ya mee interview. Biafra sọ nụrụ ajụjụ ọ jụrụ Oge Nkede. Ọkpọ COS o mee interview. Etu atọ ike media shi wee mee ka ihe nye Biafra United ịkpọ COS mee interview promote Biafran cause. Ka ihe nyere ya as a media and o nwere followers. O nwere 130,000 followers on the claim. Kenya nyere Biafra Unite ịkpọ chief of staff of Biafra government in exile. Ka ha bụgodị United States of Biafra. Biafra government in exile. Chief of staff ya bụ Ngozi Orabueze, doctor. Kenya nyere ya anya sị media o nwere media. Kenya nyere ime ịkpọ ya mee interview. Nụta ihe o kwuru. Biafra jụọ ya ajụjụ. Ya na onwe jụkwa ya ajụjụ. Then ọkpọ Oge Nkede. Oge Nkede interview. Oge Nkede ọpụtakwa gwa Biafrans okwu. Biafrans ọ jụọ ya ajụjụ nke ihe a na-akọrọ ihe asị nsị. Enweghị onye jụrụ Oge Nkede ajụjụ. Ha nọ na-akọ chata. Chata ị na-akpọ ị na-ekiri ma abụ mee lọya. Ndị mere lọ gara anụ ihe anyị na-ekwu. Ebe anyị kwujuru ha agwa anyị na ebe anyị kwuru adịghị mma. Mana asị normal human being as ordinary person mbụ. Ihe m na-ajụ bụ ka ọ gụrụ ihe ọ gụrụ kịta chata for prime minister. Ya gụọra anyị chata. Chief of staff in the government, in that charter chief of the government. Then after that charter for chief of staff in the government, you are going in absence of the prime minister, here, and the deputy prime minister, when the deputy prime minister in that government, the government. I'm going to make that point to anybody. Coordinate the work of chief of staff in the government. And the work of chief of staff in absence of the prime minister. I am spirit. Everybody in the good, you must show your face.
You must show your face. It's a sacrifice.
Before I get into, you must show your face. How come we try to at once? Let all of them come out.
Oh, now come for the reason why Obato Obiejin pocketed this guy is so.
Because all that what spirit go.
That is why Obato Obiejin that this guy is so. What teleyaka? Obodiani no le men and Okay, initial time on the claim. All to go from all joining the Nelly. All support to Nelly. Don't their time. On a watch message you might be about all joining the Nelly with the first of Galan. All the other they make all joining the you do. Manome no underground, they disappear. So many attack, disappear. Among them must be born for months. Back. Before Ojata support to Akwabatobi, I want to know could over so can't go do. So that all your watching has to be affiliated on evil melu. Ya coach
last month before I got this convention on a program, program I will be here. I just start analysis. Okay, boy on a phone.
Yes.
Na PM disappear. There were 2 days. Nothing minute. Okay, boy on a phone. They want to take the program. Yeah, on a live program. But I go send a link. Okay, see, I need 30 minutes. Never on go research you when I go okay when a hotel go be okay ụlọ na hotel ka oge nọ oge chukwu nkere bụ na hotel ka obi enweghị ọ nọ na hotel nke tata na watch background ya go and watch all the whole background ebe oge nkere na eme program all the different background hotel all of that send the picture bridge send the ọmọkọrọ America ọ nọ ka anyị nọ otu anyị nọ na Jamaica
ọnwụ na Biafrans gba nkịtị alụ ha wee mee anyị onweghị ọzọ mmemme na mma sọlindazi
enyego m na device
mma solinda alụ ụlọ eji nwa ọnọla na France zu ike ụmụ m nọ here and I will French citizen okwu ebe nne m anwụọ n'ahụ onwezighị nna m anwụkwuo onye ana m anyị na-ekwu
Cameron of Vico can hear very, very important. They put me here in the morning in a program. They put me on Twitter this afternoon. The government should not wait. There's no time to waste. As a man, we made all that. The attorney should go direct to court. Court immediately. Let them come. Let them come. Here I was going government kind of we are in government. That is the government actually to see more because they did it when I come here. Only one of my yoga, my Biafra Unite. You have the one at court.
I have a court.
You have the one at court, and the court will America back account to the account of Nigeria or no. Account of the Nigeria. Account of the Nigeria. Oh, Biafra Union so let us see our government here in our own true. Now, United States of Biafra. This is the time they will show that thing. Those in Nigeria, can't they put a Finland, Hala Bosso? In America, can't Jesse. I can't do America came a period. In Town, the Cannon or London, name broadcast. I just kidnap oil and Kenya. In Town, America, Haga, I already I gave back the meeting a court. Let them come. Come up with the because I don't make it on.
Nando. Hi. Oh no, we are not even a that somebody I like so much. I like this man with hope na onya mother. A man that na ikuku.
Hello?
Hello?
Adadioram.
Onna madam shock. And the amumani ni evil, venturing the wase. Because now money ni evil, but one of evil, man from a man on this mess in no. Lamuma is a 9 man on any way. And now we are one Yahweh. I'm a baby carrying a kita, but it's a my condition. Everyone amumagani the wase. No one is so good, Diano. It's Namunga Yahweh, great woman, the whole world, the Wadina Yamoma can naso, the Kuma can naso, Pulumanas promo. And I'm no catching, no if you follow. Mona Carolina and Beza, and I catch you. I even an now. Go on, when good season and Janos, no catching on the general social media. Everyone amumaga walk.
Okay.
Nah,
thank God that I myself. Which you will tell it.
Welcome, Wendy's.
Good evening. I can memo days open. Animasi Kobuno Nature Yazelo. Ansem ka Mbia before I get where Noko. I'm wearing back today that we have a meeting. We Biafran, we independent, we individual independent media, individual independent media, independent individual media, media independent individual media. We have meeting today by 8 o'clock Biafran time. Something can go to something before. The meeting may be there. Ejimohera nekene eze nwa Ife, one of United States of Biafra, a man with good heart. A man who will be a hand on a platform, mother, no just respond with the mother, the lesson, magic or magic. As them with Brico, Yade. After one, I know Bariga, Oga, we know man and Dodi, there's no login. No one can name you can win promotion. That is Chukuya Gozigi. Ekendemgi, Ndewo. And mekene, yo, nke Makolam Martins, ezigbo mmadụ. Ọ mụ na ya nọ n'ụtụtụ a na-ekwukwe ọ na-ekwu ahụ nke Makolam, the voice of the voiceless. Ndewo, Chukwu gozie gị. Eji m ohere a na-ekele Sonny Igara. Sonny, and make a name. Also, forget this or that. No, I will not forget. Ndewo. Umunnem. That is. Idi ihe anyị na-agabiga n'aka ndị Yoruba na ndị Fulani. Ọ na-agba m anya mmiri. And ọ gwụla so Chineke na ga-help anyị from these people hand. Believe me. Amakwa mma. Ọ na-emetụkwu unu na ahụ oshi na-emetụ m. Akwa ma ọmị ngozi bere today. Ime enwe onye ga-abịa efe ile nọ n'akwa ahụ na emotion. All because of my Nigeria hapụbe to you no go know. Nwanne ya nwaanyị mgbe shop gbara ọkụ before iti mere nwanne ya affect. Ekwe nwaanyị ọma ezinne ndewo asụm ọkụkọ tọrọ gọtọ na mmiri nni. Nne m Chukwu gozie gị. The goddess. Ndewo. Onye ozi Chineke Chukwu gozie gị. Ana m asị mmụọ kpọpụtara gị ga-agba gị ume. Promotion ebe ị na-arụ ọrụ. Ya ka m na-arịọ n'isi gị. Ndewo nne m. Thank you so much. Thank you for your love and care. Ụmụnne m. Dekwenụ ya goddess. Ama ka m ga-esi ekwu ọnụ ụgbọ na-anụ. Secretly. Always a woman with good heart. Chukwu gozie gị ezinne. N'ọdọ ọma gị gawa. Dekwe baby girl nọ here ahụ. Ọ nọ na watch ga. Dekwe baby girl. Dekwe baby girl. Dekwe ya. Say hi. Ọ nọ here. Ọ nọ Ndewo ezinne. Ndewo. Yo, Chineke. Omene ka o si eme. Eze Nwifo omene ka o si eme. Chai, Chineke. Chim gozie gị. Hell. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Mommy Ngozi. Nwanne ya nwaanyị ịdị ihe a mere ya faith ya chegide the thing nwụọ. So ọ ya mere o ji na-ebeghe akwa ahụ ọ nọ na-ebeghe ya cheta ọnwụ nwanne ya nwaanyị ọ na-agbawa obi. So ka unu hapụ ibi fi n'ụlọ na abịa na-ebe akwa anything. No, Nigeria happened to her. Believe me. And ụmụ nwanne ya nwaanyị aha nwụrụ nwanne ya nwaanyị nwụrụ. And ụmụ nwanne ya nwaanyị aha nọ na-arịa ọrịa na ha na-eche echiche nne ha. So akwa ahụ obere unu watch adọs m nọ achọghị m continue the program ma short all the program down. But ụmụ ngo ojiji obi gị aka. God knows. Love you too, Nne. Thank you so much. So, akwa ahụ obere, all because of Nigeria have happened to her. Nwanne ya nwaanyị shop ya gbara ọkụ. Nwanne ya nwaanyị echegide that thing nwụọ. Agwagi millions of naira. Shop Ubaroko. So the woman cannot hold herself. Deep in the head in the one year 1 year one. So I am Ojine Begapa. I am Ojine Begapa. But I am going to this evening now. Only God will save us from the hand of these people. And where they and one onye ọzọ ga-esave anyị ọgwụla Sọchukwu and ọ nọ na-emeni ya. Nkelekwe mana ekelekwe this government anyị a, this our government m nwere onwe m tie. Ewere go m onwe m tụọ aja n'ime this government. Because of this government m tiri onwe m now. Ekwesịrị m ịla. Believe me, I swear with my life. Ekwesịrị m ịla, but agaghị m ala wuli. Ekwesịrị m ịla, but agaghị m ala wuli. But this government will take us home. Believe me, this government will take us home. Ekene mụ otu ha siri mee peace adị n'ala Biafra. Ụmụ Igbo ndị Igbo na-celebrate na-enwe obi aṅụrị. No matter afọkwa m ndị sabotage. Na we no be them. Na we no be them. Biafra nothing. Ya ha ndị sabotage. Nigeria ga-emere ihe ha ji wụrụ na Nigeria. But ala Biafra dị peaceful. Who made it possible? United States of Biafra government and the military. That's small money unu ji na-enye eji ya na-echekwa obodo anyị. Believe me, unu edekwele ihe wọnụ udele nwụrụ anwụ nọ na France na-ezuzu. This government am nwere nwe tige, they are protecting our land. They are protecting our land. Believe me. Ekpere ka anyị ga na-ekpe. Because na Wednesday na abi Thursday now anyị abaghị afọ ọfụrụ. Thursday na anyị abaghị afọ ọfụrụ. Anyị ga-asị Chukwu okike abịa ama. Protection matters. Protection matters. Yokwele ka ihe mee anyị. Yokwele ka ihe meri native anyị. Mgbe ndị ọjọọ na-abịa ka ala Biafra rie ha. Onye nga na-ekpe on Thursday. God must surely answer us. Chukwu gozie onye ọbụla pụtara n'ikwu na-abịa na-ekinikiri the like button. Na-ekinikiri the like button. Ọ bụ na unu ahụna ka m si kelee eze nwa ife na ịdị ihe ọ na-eme otu o si eme na all the platform ọ bụla ọ gara. Asị m Chukwu gozie ya ezi nwanne m. Yes, Equolemia, all the first thing in Puzopo. I want a program this evening now by 8 o'clock Biafran time. I have said it. No, Equogomia, I'm going the announcement.
So, Nigerians, the worst has happened. The very worst has happened. Take a look at this picture. I know you should be wondering why that baby is doing there with this evil bandit in Nigerians. And you also be wondering why the baby is doing inside the bush with the bandits. Now, let me tell you. This baby mother was kidnapped while she was pregnant. She allegedly gave birth in the den of those kidnappers, as you can see in this picture. There is no type of kidnapping. There is no evil that Nigerian has never witnessed in this regime of this present government. There is no evil that we have never seen. This is so painful now. Please share. Let the world continue to see the evil that has been happening in this.
Jay! Abomination. Abomination. When they want the woman who wanna terrorist, they worry on one. Jay! Terrorist, one day worry on one. Umamu. Hell! Arumene. Amamu no me understand. Nwaanyị dị ime egidere ekidnapụrụ. Nwaanyị dị ime ekidnapụrụ. Nwaanyị dị ime ekidnapụrụ. Ya ọ ga-emu mmụọ n'aka ndị kidnapụrụ ya wụ ndị terrorist. Ọ wụ ndị terrorist ndị ghọrọ ya nwa. Ndị na-asị ya push. Unu ma the process nwaanyị na-amụ nwa ka o si aga. Ọ wụ ndị terrorist. Ew! Arụ mere. Ụmụazị atọ na gịnị ka a ga-agwa ha? Na mgbe a dị ime ha na-ekidnapụrụ ha. Na nne ha ga-amụọ mụọ na the terrorist camp. Nsogbu. You're disturbing me. Things like this. No. Nnukwute arụ mere. Chai! Nwaanyị a ga-echefu ihe ka ụmụ ya too abịa gwa ha si dekwe otu esiri mụọ ha.
All the technology production companies in the Western world will be shut down if Donald Trump, the US president, fails to have a deal with Jinping, the president of China. Now, according to Reuters newspaper, Western newspaper claims that China controls over 90% of rare earth minerals used to produce and manufacture bombs, guns, fighter jets, semiconductors, phones. China controls over 90% of rare earth minerals. This was the reason Donald Trump.
Endomas na-emezi Endomos ka ọ gịnị ka a na-akpọ dị ya na-emezi gịnị. Come on, get out.
Imposed tariff against China because Donald Trump demanded that China should give US the control of magnet, but China said no. That was the reason US imposed over 130% tariff against China a few days ago. So Donald Trump is trying to pressure Jinping to give US control of some rare earth minerals, but China said no. Guys, China is not playing. Over 90% of rare earth minerals. So if China decides not to supply Western world rare earth minerals, they will no longer manufacture and produce weapons. According to Western newspaper Reuters, this is what is happening right now. And Donald Trump have already imposed tariffs against China. So I don't think that Jinping will ever give US control of any rare earth minerals. China is not a small nation. I'm telling you, China is ahead of every other country. This is what is happening right now, guys.
Let's discuss this further with Sheikh Ahmad Abubakar Gumi, Islamic cleric and former officer in the Nigerian Army. Welcome to the program, sir. What's your reaction to U.S. conducting missile strikes targeting alleged ISIS positions in Nigeria?
Okay, good morning. It's not only my reaction. The general temperature here is that this is uncalled for, and that people are getting worried that America has given itself the prerogative to attack Nigeria anyhow, anytime it wants, and it's infringing on our sovereignty. So this is very uncalled for. Nigerian military can handle the situation very well, but it needs support. Support not from the direct attack and aggression from a foreigner on the country. Nigeria, we had a civil war in which many countries assisted Nigeria in quelling that rebellion. And this is the kind of assistance Nigerians need, not direct intervention from a foreigner that has threatened and disgraced the country. Trump was quoted as saying it's a disgraced country. So how can we allow ourselves to be disgraced by this man?
And President Trump says the attacks were intended to protect Christians who the U.S. claims are victims of terrorists in the region. How justified is that explanation? What other motivation could Washington have to strike, do you think?
No, you see, whoever wants to commit a crime has always a justification. Otherwise, Sokoto State has more than 95% Muslims. And there is no any incidents where there's an attack on churches or Christians there. So if there's anything, it should be another state where Christians and Muslims are fighting each other. That's where we expected, even if there's going to be. But as a principle, we reject totally that any foreigner should fire and attack us in any sense or in any form, and also coerce Nigeria into accepting this status.
You know, judging by what you're saying, it does sound a bit dodgy, frankly speaking. And Trump warned Nigeria last month that if it didn't address the Christian security concerns, he would send in the military with, quote, guns a-blazing. What do you think about that statement?
Look at it now. The Minister of Defense is a Christian. The Chief of Defense Staff, where all the security output is a Christian. So what else do you want us to do? Will these Christians be killing Christians? There's nothing like Christian genocide. It's just a claim by them. If they want to commit everything, they have also a reason, the justification. But there is no any Christian genocide in Nigeria. Well, are Christian killed and Muslim killed? Yes, there is killing between herders and farmers clashes, which has metamorphosed into what we are seeing now. Clashes all over the fault lines. But Muslims attacking Christians or Christians attacking Muslims in a form of genocide is not in Nigeria now. So it's just a claim, and they have an ulterior motive, which is what all Nigerians, most Nigerians believe. Maybe they want a base in Nigeria because they don't have access to the Sahel region and many other things. Nigeria is full of minerals. Nigeria is an oil-producing country. Nigeria has gold, uranium, or name it, we have it. So I think there is a foreign greed about what Nigeria has.
And the Nigerian government has repeatedly responded by saying it would never turn a blind eye to religious persecution. How could a large-scale operation be expected to root out extremist groups in rural parts of the country?
No, it's not. In fact, militarily, it's not even possible because the real terrorists are somewhere in the northeast of Nigeria. Now they will be hiding and getting themselves, because they have seen what America can do. It's not going to cure anything. It's only going to destabilize the nation. And look at how villagers now are afraid. They can't even, they can't sleep in their villages. And it will come to a situation, if they continue like that, villagers would prefer even the terrorists than this big terror, dropping bombs and missiles on people's homes and people's land.
And Nigeria has also confirmed that it's engaged in a security operation with the United States. What do you think about that cooperation, especially given the U.S. track record on eliminating terrorist groups in Africa?
You see, if there is that cooperation, we need to hear it before the attack from Nigerian sources. But
that they need to hear it before the operation, so that how one day have one idiot.
Trump has said it is a Christmas gift he has given to Nigerians, and so I think the discrepancy between the narration between the Nigerian government and the American pronunciation, one can smell there is something fishy about that.
You've just heard a message that echoes the cries of the oppressed.
This Gumi is very funny. Oh, the very, very funny. Very, very funny guy. Very funny guy. Then he did Banagua. So that you're going there and have Malaga. Okay, we're for now. On the can all the wise.
Nigerians are asking one question, one very fundamental question, as to whether this strike really succeeded. Did it achieve the objective? Because on the one hand, people are saying, where are the bodies? The bodies of the terrorists who were taken out. And on the other hand, some are saying, look, it's not necessary to show you, any
well, permit me to say that,
right. How do you gauge or weigh the success or otherwise of this strike?
Well, I've been embedded in military operations for the last 8 years, and I must say that such coverages, for such coverages, well, it's not new to hear people come out with some of these questions, and that's because you take a look at the state in which we are right now. Well, there are a whole lot of doubts, there are a whole lot of confusion, and so people just want to be psychologically safe.
Right.
And that's exactly the reason. Yes, that's exactly the reason why you begin to hear some of these questions. And then also, permit me to say this, well, because of the way we've actually carried branded figures, sometimes you hear 1,000 people killed, 50 people killed, 600 people killed, and yet we still see these terrorists carry out these activities,
and looking
stronger. That's exactly the reason why people are asking these questions. So I don't blame them, but then also, well, perhaps I'm going to say that later on. Well, let's start first of all by asking, did this actually achieve its objective?
Yes.
Well, for me, I will say, yes, it did. However, there's something that we must all learn. We must all learn that, well, when you talk about warfare, you can't separate propaganda from it.
Absolutely.
And so when you take a look at some of the, words that have been, take, for example, President Donald Trump used, we're talking about words like powerful, words like deadly or, obliterating. Well, perhaps if you use those words to indeed weigh whatever you are taking a look at that happened in Tangasta or whatever, well, definitely, you wouldn't really find that. And so to a large extent, I will say, yes, terrorists were killed because I spoke with people who saw bodies.
Right.
I spoke with a couple of them, members of the community, one of the traditional leaders. Well, after that, well, some security operatives went down, and then with them were some civilians, and I spoke to them.
Right.
And for some of them, first of all, when you go into that community, it's not a place where people are quick to talk. That's why when you take a look at the report, we had to blur some of these faces, and that's because, to a large extent, they will tell you that a whole lot of them living in the community have been in bed with the bandits for different reasons. For some of them out of fear, for some of them out of sympathy. Now, don't forget the story, talking about Lakurawa. At a point in time in 2018, the people of Sokoto invited Lakurawa to come in and help.
Protect them.
Help as vigilantes.
Right.
Help discipline their children. And so, along the line, rather than disciplining, these guys, they went on with whatever beliefs that they had, tried to instill those beliefs, which was not really concurrent with didn't align with some of the things that we know. Right. And from there, they got powers, and from there, they went on and on and on, and then the people became like slaves, and it got so bad, it got so bad that, you have a chicken in your house, they come in, they pick up the chicken. I spent over 3.5 hours there, and I can tell you that I didn't see livestock. That community is not a community where you want to rear livestock, and that's because...
Why is that?
They come and then they take it. Now that's the situation. That's exactly what it is.
So what the people in those communities have on their hands, some kind of Frankenstein.
There's so much to it. You cultivate, they come in, you pay taxes, they come in, they take your crop, or they come in, they abduct persons, you go and sell the crop, the produce, and then you do it. They went in, carved out a cave for themselves, the cow, the kakuri, Kalga, and then Malgam in those places. And then that's exactly how they've been doing it. So it's not also very easy for these persons to come in freely.
So these Lakurawas, if I'm getting you correctly, have become some kind of government.
That's exactly what they are right now. They've become a government. Those ungoverned spaces that we all talk about, that's exactly what they've done. They go into those spaces and then somehow dominate. And then going back to some of the lessons that we've learned, at least we didn't see obliteration, we didn't see those deadly missiles, but there were casualties. And I think we must learn from that. And for the United States, well, they have said they are not backing down. And then somehow I just think we have to improve on this. When I talk about improve on this, yes, in terms of synergy. But permit me to also say this, still talking about that. Now, I think there should also be a clarity in terms of the mission. And that's because when you put this side by side with the objectives of President Donald Trump, you really want to ask questions. However, terrorists are terrorists, and any terrorist taken out anywhere, anytime, any day is a positive one for Nigeria as it stands at this point.
So what are the lessons we need to take away from here? Because when you hear, for example, that tomahawks were used in these strikes, and you wonder if these are the right equipment to use in carrying out these operations.
If we can't associate, what
are the risks involved here?
If we can't associate deadly and powerful with this, then obviously I think we also have to question the use of precision. And so maybe it's a lack of understanding. I know the military would always look at this, classify it, and then say, well, although we are in a war, but this is an asymmetrical warfare. It's not a place where you can just go in and then cap a bomb. And so I think perhaps, they also have to look at it in terms of the weapons. If your target is Tangasa, and then you have weapons dropping in Kwara, or perhaps even if it's not weapons, warheads dropping in Kwara, whatever they did call it, well, debris dropping in Kwara, debris dropping in Jabo, then you really must question the missiles that you used. So I think perhaps that's also a lesson for them. How precise
are these?
They definitely have got to take a look at it. How precise, are the strikes? And then when you come back home, I was expecting, or perhaps I should say this now, give it up for our military, like what we've seen today, what we've heard today with what the efforts, what they've done. However, I didn't see that eagerness to continue, for a follow-up on the part of our military. They were not so excited. Now, no disrespect, and I must clearly say this. Now, it's not because they don't like what has happened, but then also, you also want to look at some of the backstories and then some of the reactions. And it was like, as if, we didn't really appreciate what they were doing. Now we have our boys everywhere, scattered across the country, driving from Sokoto down to this place. They are scattered across the road, and so they are doing a whole lot from sunset until sundown. And so it's good to appreciate them. And so perhaps I saw a military that really didn't feel appreciated, and with Nigerians coming in to celebrate this, I felt, well, we have to be very careful so that we don't demoralize them. They are doing a whole lot as well. However, in terms of the clearance operations, I didn't see so much zeal to go in there. Now, for me, it's not about if the weapons did destroy anywhere or if terrorists were killed. But I'll tell you a small story. I was going into Tangasa. I had to stop by at the last police post. And it was a young man. It was the DPO that told me, come on, go. And that's because I was scared. I and my team were scared. And we were like, how could we go? Now, this is one road you don't want to travel alone without security. There are some persons who attempted it and then they almost went there with a garrison.
Wow.
But then we wanted to go on that road. It was the DPO who told us, from what they've heard, in the last couple of days that these strikes took place, this place has been clear. And that's because these people have already reported that they saw these terrorists running away. And trust me, not just ourselves, on the road also, we were driving by, the driver was asking, and then there seemed to be this optimism. There seemed to be this excitement.
In the community.
This safety of, these people are no longer here. This place is now safe.
But unfortunately,
we need to cash in.
Cashing on that,
I think we need to cash in on it.
But then again, we heard barely 24 hours after this strike happened. There were reports from Benue, traditional, leaders in Benue State saying they've noticed some,
Finally, the truth is gradually coming out concerning the insecurity in Nigeria. So the former General Chief of Army Staff, Musa, have finally come out to say the truth. This is the pure truth of the insecurity going on in Nigeria. As far as saying that, it's still the government officials that brought these people in, I equipped them with an ammunition. They started them, in fact, they started all this group little for their own political interest then. So that while election goes on, so that they will have a political talks. You say that it's still the government has sponsored them, buy all these sophisticated weapons, fuel them, even pay them in a monthly basis. Guys, take your time. Watch this video. This is a bitter truth that so many government officials will not like you to hear. Just make sure you share the video. This is a kind of video that you need to share to get to the international communities, to the foreign community. In fact, let Donald Trump see this video. In fact, start tagging Donald Trump in this video. Tag the United States, tag the United Nations in this video. Let them see that truly, what we are actually passing through today are from the hand of our government officials. Just listen, guys.
Not allowing the enemy to bring into gaps between us. Boko Haram started because we protected them. They started as a small group, and if it had been nipped in the bud, we probably wouldn't have gotten to where we are today. The Lakrawas came in, we put them in, and we said they are our friends and their families until they started attacking us. The message here is when you grow a monster, it grows beyond you and wants to take more from you. So we must learn to say no to monsters. Any evil one that means by planning any evil against this country must never ever be supported, because it is the silence of the majority that gives them that opportunity to grow to who they become. The people must be part of the solution. I always want to remind people that the citizens, that the terrorists survive within the communities. If we allow them, they will thrive. If we disallow them, they will never survive. First and Second World War are very clear. When citizens stood up against the enemy, they didn't give them food, they didn't give them fuel, because sometimes you sit down and think, 16 years we'll be fighting Boko Haram, how have they been surviving? Who has been funding them? These are questions we should ask ourselves. Where are they getting the fuel they're getting? They're getting from us. We have commercial drivers that will go and take full tank, go out, go and siphon fuel and give them. Sometimes they have pre-arranged locations. They siphon fuel in jerrycans, dig holes and drop in and phone them and tell them where they fall. These are the people that keep them going. So why are we doing this to ourselves? What is the motive? Are you going to be happy if your country fails? You want to be a refugee or an IDP somewhere else? Those are questions we must be able to ask and answer. This is why forums such as this are invaluable. They provide a platform for citizens to receive first-hand information from government and security.
As it start right now, they say that the one of the NATO don't come outside. Now, no NATO now, no those Europeans. So we say their group, not Donald Trump, if you provoke them, they'll carry fight, come meet you. They say these people don't come outside though. One of their representatives way from, let's say, Austria. They say the man don't come outside, come provoke, come say, may they divide Nigeria. Nah, come later, come ask, so how many pieces where they want, may they divide Nigeria? You can't share them into three, say now Zubia. My people, I go play the video, may watch before I come back. Come continue, stay tuned.
Dear Christian in the whole world, and dear American President, dear European Union. This is Günther Fellinger-Jahn speaking. I'm calling here from Vienna to recognize the Republic of Biafra. Biafra in ex-Nigeria, Nigeria, to my regret, and this is a non-working state, and they have committed genocide in 1967 to 1970 against the Christians of Biafra and the people of Biafra, and now they are all well, since the last 15 years, living in a terrible conditions. They are often led for some jihadists to kill them, and there is atrocities about atrocities. And it's much better for the people of Nigeria if Biafra becomes their own state, and they can sort out then inside Nigeria the other issues, or maybe there will be other regions which are better off in this non-working state of Nigeria. So ex-Nigeria must start with Biafra, and the international community, contrary to the 1960s and 70s, must support the independence of Biafra Republic. In the 1967-90, that tragic year, the West was at its weakest. There was the Vietnam War, and tragically Nixon, who was for the people of Biafra, but he did very little. And I want to apologize for his failures, and I want to especially criticize and also apologize for the Imperial UK and French governments who were actually supporting, due to all interests, Nigerian centralists' crackdown on the poor people of Biafra. And we, as Christians, as Europeans, should absolutely stand with Biafra and support them. And that's why I call on President Trump and on the European leaders, Ursula von der Leyen, please, I beg you, I pray, recognize the Republic of Biafra. It's no need for military intervention or these things. Just do the political steps of recognition of these poor people to have their own state, to live in security. And of course, then recognition goes with the ability to be recognized and also to defend yourself. It's much better than having a military intervention in Nigeria, having the Biafra Republic equipped and armed to be able to defend herself against the potential invasion from the Nigerian centralist forces of that failed state. And so here the defense comes with the recognition, and that's exactly how we should do. Biafra Republic, please, my friends, I beg you, recognize it and build a strong, viable state, part of the free world. And that's what I call the Fellinger Doctrine and also the Fellinger economics. Build a decent state, part of the free world, no BRICS, but OECD, no kind of alignment with genocidal Russia, but alignment with America, with the European Union, with the free world. And we will have a free trade agreement, open economics, of course, the flat tax, I like very much, and the currency which Nigeria never did, to join the Euro-Pact area. This is the best policy for West Africa, and Biafra will be a proud member of the Euro-Pact area, and this will be delivering much more prosperity in the future, and we will trade and we will work together in the global partnership of NATO, and this is my call for Biafra Republic to be independent and to be part of the free world alongside Fellinger doctrine and Fellinger economics. And I thank you very much for your attention. Please, President Trump, please, Ursula von der Leyen, be on the side of the light of the good people of Biafra, of the Christians of Africa, and allow them their own state to live in security and peace and prosperity. From Vienna, this is Günther Fellinger-Jan speaking. All the best.
You say that Trump is coming to pack your resources. Which resources? Which resources? My brother don't graduate in seven years. They don't see work. Many graduates are there. They don't see work. They don't see. Graduate is doing a work of 70,000 a month. 70,000 a month. What are you benefiting? What are you benefiting as a Nigerian? What are you benefiting? That they're kidnapping your people every day. If they're going, you will travel from here to local. Is it not bad? But they kidnap food boss. Nigerian police cannot say anything. Nigerian army cannot do anything. But as Trump talked with yesterday now, Nigerian army say they don't kidnap, they don't catch 17,000 people, 7,000 So you know you can catch these criminals. You are waiting for Trump to talk. You are waiting for Trump to talk. No food, no water, no road, no light, no health care. Go to UBTH, go to any hospital, go to Zaria, go to any hospital, and see the problem there. So they want to come and fix. They want to come and take your resources. Which resources? Is it your cassava? Is it your oil? Is it the gold that I didn't pack in the gold before? Your ass friend when they pack the gold. Money when they give local government share to do road. You do the road. You do the road and they ask you. Since I play road, they replace in so many months. The contractor, they sleep for Sapler Road. They repair anything. Say they want to come and pack your resources. You cannot say nothing near me. What are you just today if you not believe? Nonsense. You're making math in comment section that they want to pack your resources. What resources do you have? Are you benefiting it as a Nigerian?
If Nigerian youths can be speaking out like this guy, things will start getting better. So proud of him, saying the exact, saying the reality. But yeah, will the government listen? It is better to speak than to keep silent. It's better to say the truth than to keep silent. So Nigerian youths, speak out. Cue in, tell the government where they are wrong. Cue in and say reality. Nigeria needs a change. Now, Donald Trump has tweeted, Nigeria is running helter-skelter. Yes, Nigerian youth, the ball is on your court. Do the needful. Speak out. Tell the government your anger. Tell them that the country is not moving forward. Tell them your opinion. They will listen one day and make Nigeria a better place.
My people, they say truth don't finally come for who they pack Nigeria oil and who they sponsor terrorists for inside Nigeria. Watch the video.
Guys, the truth is gradually coming out. Senator Adams Oshomole has come out to call China. Say China is the one stealing Nigeria resources. Say that China are the one who are arming these bandits and terrorists so that they're protecting the illegal mining site for them. And this is the same China who is speaking out against Trump and America for standing up against the ongoing killing of Christians in Nigeria. Should I say that this country has become a confused nation? Anyway, make una help me tap on that share. Share this video and listen to Adam's show.
Involved in this illegal mining.
Share this video.
They use choppers. They procure arms exactly the same way as our military were doing in the South. They give them arms. They use choppers to come and cut away the gold. And they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. And the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC. And I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening, or what subsequently happened in that part of the country, was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. Chief of Committee Chairman of Defense Staff, tell the defense I said so. That with some retired military officers, army officers are involved in it. The day we can't tell the truth, this country cannot flourish. We can't change our, when it affects our people, we are at our best. We talk strong. Some other people appear to be above the law. That is what is going on with solid mineral. It is not that we don't know where it is. We have a whole survey of where we have what across the length and breadth of Nigeria. We also know, everybody complaining about certain people from certain nationalities. How they got here, even as we are talking now, they are doing those illegal mining.
Share this video.
And those guys are getting richer when Nigeria states are getting poorer. But we carry the consequences of banditry, kidnapping, and that which this on illegal armed men, which they equip. Sir, who can afford to buy a chopper to land in an illegal mining site, cut away gold, return to Sediti, and then on the way to airport, bam, take them out of the country? This is happening. So I agree with you, but my position is that we shouldn't, as senators, be lamenting. As senators, we should fix the problem. We should tell the executive, you must deploy exactly the same force that you deploy against illegal oil bunkering. That same force should be deployed to deal with criminals who are money. When I say criminal, it can be a retired general, it can be a retired permanent secretary, it can be a retired trade unionist or a retired labor leader. Whoever is involved, they should be dealt with. Let Nigeria see that we are not condoning this. We are not lamenting what is going on. When you have a country of people who are above the law because they are supposed to have served the country, they have retired, and now the
APC under Tinubu administration is the more you look, the less you see. The same China that came out yesterday to speak against US and America for standing up against the killings in Nigeria is the one the same senator is accusing of being the one arming, sponsoring the bandits for the illegal mining site, to protect the illegal mining site. Wait, so isn't this enough disgrace that these people can enter Nigeria airspace, drop weapons, and take away our resources, and they do absolutely nothing? Then when Americans speak, you'll be shouting, oh, Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Sovereign nation where no stop criminals? I laugh in Chinese. Should I say that Nigeria has become a conspiracy theory? Just as of yesterday, Nigerians were jubilating, celebrating, thanking China for standing by us. The same China is the one stealing our mineral resources to better their lives and their country. Now, wow. Now, some of these terrorist supporters and bigots want to change the narrative that US want to interfere because they want to steal our resources. The China who are stealing the resources are the one pretending to be fighting. Even when you go to Google, you can go to Google and type the illegal mining, the country who are mostly arrested for illegal mining in Nigeria. China number one. It's embarrassing that these people come from China, call Nigeria illegally. They mine our mineral resources and the government are not doing anything, to the point that they get ground power to arm terrorists to protect them from stealing from us. You see, when I saw the China, standing against US, against America, standing with us yesterday, when I saw their write-up, I laughed because I have school with them. 50% of my classmates were China. I know the shege where I see with them. Anyway, that's my personal life. It's not here. I'm here for blogging. But if you believe that this Chinese, especially these Asian people, say they like you, you are a daydreamer. You are dreaming. If the federal government are doing business with China, thinking they like you and they care about your welfare, you need to know China is all about business and interest that favors them. They don't do anything without gain. In fact, to tell you the honest truth, it's better you do business with America than China. Do you know my Chinese classmates at that time invited me to the house to make I go to that time? Hungry, they find me now when I was in South Korea. Hungry, they hammer me for school that time. They invited me to that house, so I went there, make I go eat China for good food. These people refuse to take picture with me because I be black. Now them invite me, or not be me invite myself. I dare my host, JJ, they study waiting at this waiting. I don't know. Waiting whatever. The truth is coming out gradually. In fact, now the leader, these politicians, now them will finally open each other. Now them go tell us waiting they happen. Because now it's all job that is becoming more accountability. They are now speaking out. As I'm showing all this why they know saying that China, they arm the bandits, the terrorists to protect them, to protect our own resource for them. They no talk, they no react. Now,
country that know only how to borrow money, why they have the thing that will give them money. Oh, Chineke nna. Arumen. Only have to borrow, but they have something that will give them that money. They are borrowing. Very disgraceful. They have something that will give them that money they are borrowing, but they prefer to go and borrow the money instead of to use what they have to get that money they are borrowing. Shame on you people. Very big shame. Very big shame.
Some of us who recruited him into politics had a mission. And I will reveal that mission today. General Buhari came into politics. It wasn't his province. He never liked politicians because he believed we are fake and that we don't mean what we say. But there was an incident that made some of us to recruit him, convince him, and use the other people to convince him to join politics. And even though we had our own agenda, because in 1999 and 2000, the OPC was on rampage in some parts of the country, especially Southwest, and have inconvenienced a lot of people from this part of the country. And to the extent that they mobilized over 500 vehicles to come and invade Ilorin with the sole aim of uprooting what they called Fulani structures in Ilorin. And we felt that was too much. And Obasanjo was doing nothing. President Obasanjo was doing nothing. President Bola Tinubu, then governor of Lagos, was doing nothing. And some of us felt that those group of people were being encouraged by their leaders in position of authority. So how do we stop that? And I called a meeting in Kaduna at Alhaji Bashir Al-Hatu's house in a place called Unguan Kaji, directly opposite the house of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. And some of those we invited included Alhaji Wadanas, Professor Yadudu, Bashir Al-Hatu himself, Alhaji Yahya Sulehama, and a host of others, about 34 of us. And we sat down to reason, how do we save our people from this OPC menace? So we said, I suggested that we have to, because you remove government through only two ways, the bullet of through the barrel of the gun and through the ballot box. And they said it was impossible to challenge General Obasanjo. That was how Buhari came to our mind. And when he was approached, he had a very unkind words for politicians. But since he didn't say he was not doing, we still pursued him. To cut long story short, we achieved our first purpose of putting a brake to what OPC was doing. Because immediately Buhari joined partisan politics, and we had a very big outing in Daura to initiate him into politics. The Obasanjo government became restive and was shaken to its bone marrow, and because those were some of his our thinking. So Obasanjo had to really checkmate the OPC. So for that reason, we have achieved our first purpose of bringing General Buhari into partisan politics. So the remaining now is history. They wanted to dismantle, as what is happening across the country now. They wanted to dismantle his platform of ANPP, APC, ANPP. And we made a counter platform by establishing the Buhari Organization, TBO, which we used as a platform for promoting his political ideals. Of course, all this are now history. Some smart people who are politically ambitious came in and threw us out. That is how we parted ways with him.
In other words, what Galadima revealed simply confirms what many Nigerians had suspected for years. Buhari did not come into politics with the intention of unifying Nigeria or building a nation that works for everyone. According to Galadima himself, Buhari came primarily to protect and promote the interests of the Fulani. And once you understand this, everything about his tenure suddenly becomes very clear. Think back to the Ruga program and several other controversial bills and policies that were aggressively pushed at the time. These policies...
watch here. Yeah, where's your one day may we hope so the matige. Hope so the may be Ndi Igbo. The name Ndi Igbo. Imo State. And Buhari TV. I'm going to connect you, not connect the dot. Buhari TV. Hope was the margin to sign the agreement, not a Ndi Igbo. You know, name Imo State. During that time, Buhari and I hope was the man. The security general
were designed to favor one ethnic group and had nothing to do with genuine national development. They were not about solving Nigeria's real problems: security, unemployment, infrastructure, poverty. They were about securing long-term dominance for a particular group. And because of this narrow focus, the rest of the country continued to suffer. Now you begin to understand why Buhari's government seemed so disconnected from the daily struggles of ordinary Nigerians. You understand why insecurity spiraled out of control, why bandits and terrorists operated freely, why entire communities were wiped out without any serious response from the presidency. Many said he was not always aware, but the truth is that he simply did not consider the lives and concerns of other Nigerians a priority. It also explains why a Nigerian president would abandon the broken infrastructure within his own country yet approve billions for a railway project to another country, while many parts of Nigeria had no functional railway lines. The message was clear. His loyalty and emotional investment were not in Nigeria as a whole. And of course, we cannot forget the infamous dot comment about the Southeast, where he practically dismissed an entire region and then went further to say they would be taught in the language they understand. That statement was so divisive, so reckless, and so unbecoming of a leader that Twitter had to suspend Buhari's account. Imagine that. Your born president being suspended for hate-filled rhetoric against his own citizens. Throughout his administration, one thing was consistent. He governed with a mindset of exclusion rather than unity. He projected himself as the president of a tribe, not a nation. And Nigerians felt it. Every region felt it, except the one he prioritized. This is why I will always say that 2015 marked the beginning of one of the darkest chapters in our country's history. The moment APC came into power, Nigeria entered a period of decline, economically, socially, and politically. Policies became more divisive, insecurity worsened, corruption became more deeply rooted, and the country as a whole took several steps backward. Bringing APC to power in 2015 was not just a bad political move, it was the biggest mistake Nigeria ever made as a country.
MNK has come to pass except war. I might tell you, MNK is facing stronger forces right now. Are you aware that Nigeria has one of the strongest forces spiritually in the whole world? And before you get something tangible like the country Biafra from Nigeria, you must face or battle with the I tell you, many a times people are talking about revolution. Revolution must come in Nigeria, and it will start from the north, not from the east. Believe me. All of his prophecies has come to pass except one. Listen to him.
ISIS will enter the zoo and Chad. As I told you before, anything you hear on Radio Biafra is correct. I told you on this platform that they will come for you. You see, let me tell you one thing that people don't know because you don't know history. I forgive some of you because in your schools in the zoo, they don't teach you anything. I want some people to actually go and sit down and study the history of Islam. Islam is the only religion that has never stopped growing. Islam is the only religion that has never stopped expanding through militancy and war. Others have stopped, only Islam. Islam believes in expanding through war, and that war is coming. Now, I must be put on record. I want you to record this very broadcast and play it all the time for our people to also understand and listen very carefully. And I will say it tonight. And if you come to me in the future, I'll refer you to the broadcast of the 8th of June 2015, and that I made this very comment I'm about to make now at precisely 10 minutes to 8 p.m. in the evening. If ISIS comes down into the zoo, of course they're part of Boko Haram anyway, if they fall, not today because they are forging an alliance already, if they launch any attack with the name of ISIS on the zoo soil, if they come to us to give us weapons, I will decline it. I will allow them to kill all of you before we mount any counteroffensive. Let me tell you one thing that you don't understand. Some of you, you claim you went to school, but you didn't go to school. Because if you went to school, you will understand how Islam works. Islam is coming for you. They must come for you. It's a M-U-S-T, must. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Only you can defend yourself. ISIS is coming, not just Boko Haram, but the real bad people that are coming. They need access to the oil, and they will get it to secure their financial base for their continued expansion within the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. The zoo is seen as pivotal, and Biafra land is where the resources that are looking for is lying in. Some of you cannot reason, you cannot see very well because you're blind, but at least you're lucky. You're listening to Radio Biafra. Very, very lucky indeed. I'm telling you the truth. Or else, in your blindness, it is that darkness we've come to shed light on that you can see properly. If you enter the zoo, I will not command this army. And I need guns and I need bullets. I have the men. I need guns and I need bullets. That's all we need. And then we win. I have been sounding this warning. I've been telling you, you think we are joking. They are coming. Your mothers will be raped. Your sisters will be married off as slaves. I'm telling you that now. Right as I speak, write it down. Biafra land will be decimated. Unless we equip this army to defend us. If we don't equip our army to defend us, in other words, if we don't march this year, it will be very difficult for us to recover. Forget all this nonsense. All these so-called pro-Biafra groups you're saying, Awasa brought them out to confuse you. Awasa brought them out. That is why they cannot say what they're saying or do what they're capable of doing. These are Awasa groups and you are not listening. That's now I want to you are not listening because the devil has gone into all these idols that you worship. The devil has gone inside you to harden your heart, to blind your eyes that you can no longer see. That day I will tell you to remember the broadcast of the 8th of June 2015. I will tell you to go back to it. I need guns and I need weapons. If I don't have guns and bullets, the army of Biafra cannot defend your towns and villages. The sooner you get that into your thick skull, the better for everybody. You are black people, you don't reason, I know that for sure. But the sooner you take this very message seriously, the better for everybody. Or else you're finished. ISIS is coming. They will enter the zoo and Chad very, very shortly. Not as Boko Haram, they are coming in as their franchise and as their name dictates. ISIS is coming. If you like, you make haste while the sun is shining, or if you like, you can continue to be dumb and stupid. That is entirely up to you.
Time we will tell you there is no bullying unit on social media. At the right time. This is not the first time I was attacked on social media. When I came to run for House of Rep, every social media was filled with attack. And they gave my opponent 70% and gave me 30% survival. At the end of the day, I carried him up and I hit him on the lamp. Wow. Go and tell Negadunu, pray I don't come out to run for governorship. If I come to run for governorship, it will be a fast and a quick, tough battle. That's all. That is the truth. Go and tell your neighbor I said so. We are still consulting. We are still talking to our party. We are still listening to the leader of our party at the national. And we are waiting for the signal. If the signal come, look at me very well. Am I not handsome enough to be a governor? Am I enough to be a governor? Am I not experienced enough to be a governor? So what are we talking about? You cannot threaten us with what you write on social media. If you like, hire all the social media agents. Let them insult us. When we up, write it on the social media. At the right time, we will prove that APC is here to stay. And like my people have said, Mr. President should know that we in Abia State, we are not interested in negotiating with anybody. If you want to work for Mr. President, join ABC. If you want to work for President, do what? Join ABC. Promising President, I will give you this percentage. Allow me to be where I am. That one is far. It's far. We have what it takes. We have the resources. we have the people to be able to deliver 100 over 100 for Mr. President. Shall we rise and sing this song? On your Monday, we shall start.
Unu afụla ịdị iberibe ndị Abia steeti ịdị. Unu afụla ịdị iberibe ndị Abia steeti ịdị. Unu afụla ndị Chineke na-ajọsụ na omere ihe ọma. Ide onye apụta na amasị ihe ndị Abia steeti nwere sensị. Ide onye apụta okwute ka a gara iji ma mmiri tụgide ya make sure na achụpụrụ onye a ka ọ hapụ inwe chance ikwu ihe okwu ga. But look at just ndị isi ojii ebe na ha just nnọọ ama ndị isi ojii ji useless like this. The people here making Abia State Chineke na mepere Abia State now was number 1 na East now. Igotezi ana na aba na ị ga-abawa n'ime ị ga-ama ego n'iji the development pụtara na aba since how many years now the way he do to Abia here na Koga and the young supporters ndị shoji afọ jọrọ unu njọ ịdị onye a na this guy na ọ kwụsị otu ọnọ ya ewere mmiri zuo ya ahụ ma okwute enweghị ndị a ga-eme ndị mmadụ because achọghị ya achọghị ya bụ duka ndị mmadụ nọkwa ya na-asha atụ ga na-enweghị obi aṅụrị na ha ka okpukpe na ịdị ihe ọma ka otu imere ha n'ịdị ihe ọma ka otu imere ha ọ ka unu wee fụ how useless ndị isi ojii dị. This guy na ekwesịghị ihe room any chance any place to stand na-ekwu nonsense okwu ga. But unu ka unu were na Abia steeti Chineke na ji ala ese otu izo ndụ nekwe the ihe this guy kwuge before this guy kwuge ha ya na Tinubu apụ na anya ya ma ịtụrụ vote ma ịtụghị vote a ga-eweli anya ha. N'elu ihe Tinubu mega na Tinubu nwere hope na anakwa o tire ha tax na sure na ya ma ga-achịkwa ha again. The mindset ndị iberibe adị this Benjamin na now ekwesịghị inye ya any breathing space. Ekwesịghị inye this guy any breathing space at all.
Yes, Nigerians, let me say this here. I have to review this revelation here. The beast is coming back. I repeat, the beast is coming. You may ask me, who is this beast? The beast is coming. Nigerian government, do peace. Go out for a referendum. Let the Igbos go peacefully. The beast is coming. Who is this beast? Who is this beast? The beast is Simon Ekpa. I repeat, Finland is going to release that guy. And they will release him and equip him. There are more world powers behind this. I can't reveal everything to you people yet. The beast is coming back. The wounded, angry beast is coming. He will come to the eastern region and protect the area. No Nigerian force will pass there. Mark what I said. No Nigerian force will do what? We pass there. The beast is coming. Do the peace now. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Don't jail him. Don't kill him. What happened in 1967? The Biafran and Nigerian WAR, that the Western power was behind Nigeria. It's not going to be the same this time. Some Western power are behind the Easterners already because of the gas in their land, and they already having that agreement already with them with the gas in their land. The beast is coming. The Western powers are going to fund Simon Ekpa and back him. Whatever he do with his men and with the weapon will not be counted for. Nobody will hold him. In fact, Nigeria will complain, tire. Nobody would dare talk against him. The beast is coming. He's coming with his military men. And again, let me say this. There are formation of Igbo military men in other countries forming this. They are grouping already. There is going to be an external forces. Yes, Nigerians, let me say this.
ụmụnne m ndewo nke ọbụla onye chiri ya jere ka anyị ga break then anyị ga-abịazi na dị nnọkọ ka anyị nwere today. Ndewo na I love you all. Ka emesianụ. Thank you everybody. Thank you. Me abịa online by 8 o'clock Biafran time na meeting anyị nwere today. Thank you all.